Hi, Eric. Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, you as well. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. I really enjoyed this short that you made.
Yeah.
Um, is there a reason you made it a short and not like not a bit more of a length, like maybe like a half an hour? Because I felt like there was so much more we could have learned about this drum. Because I found it fascinating as a drummer myself
Yeah.
to see how, like he said, you soak it for a day and then you dry it for a day and then
Yeah.
you stretch it over yeah,
Yeah, it's funny that you bring that up because like the original concept I had, the
yeah.
original idea that I pitched to the NFB was like a feature-length documentary. We were gonna see a caribou hunt and tanning the caribou hide and then
Oh,
making the drum and like we were gonna see this whole process. And then obviously COVID happened, so things had to be shut down and
right.
going up to a remote location in northern Manitoba or Nunavut was definitely out of the option, out of the question. So it just became this more intimate and um, more, just a more intimate story than what I originally planned. And I mean, there definitely could have been a little bit more or less, depending on how I'm looking at it on the day. But I mean, I think what we got was a lot better than what I had envisioned with a bigger project.
Also, almost having to downsize because of COVID almost was beneficial.
Yeah, I think having
And
just being able to because that's my brother and my nephew and my auntie in the documentary, and having
oh,
them just
okay.
being part of it with me, and it just became something better than what I had envisioned when I first pitched this idea.
Now, is it is it Dane, like Dane drum, or what's the Dene?
Dene drum. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then they use the sinew to weave the hide into the.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, obviously we're using synthetic sinew because that's an even longer process to get real sinew from a caribou.
Yeah,
So yeah, so they use the sinew, and it's such a strong piece of the body of the muscle that it's hard to break.
yeah.
So
um yeah, what was the reason behind, like, where's the history of this drum? Like, it must go back a long way, because at the start you show him taking all the old hide off that's been just glued on,
yeah.
essentially, but he wants it to last, to possibly when his son is maybe his age or older, to be able to use those drums still when he's of older age.
Yeah, so I mean, the drum frames that we had,
Yeah,
the caribou hide is such a delicate hide. When you look at moose or elk or deer, it's thick, and caribou is really thin. Like, when we can pretty much see through our drum. Um, so it over time it warps, and if you don't take care of it, it breaks. And you know, having those drums were just broken drums. So um unintentionally a metaphor for the reclaiming of traditions, because instead of throwing away the the frame, we just repurposed it, and we made a new drum, and made it, who knows, better than the drum before. So it was kind of unintentionally to make it a metaphor for the reclaiming of our culture, which goes back, I don't even think I could pinpoint when we started using deer drum or caribou drum hides. So it's, you know just to see, like, the reusing and reclaiming the culture in that documentary.
yeah, because I don't know, as an outsider looking in, it was definitely fascinating to watch. And like I already said, being a drummer, I've always I always like to see how things are made. But most of what modern man does is, goes down an assembly line and robots do it all, but
Yep.
this is all by hand, you know, and he's showing his son. Is that his son?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so he's showing his son how it's traditionally done. He's just like, but now we have a drill.
Yeah.
Makes it a little quicker to get things done.
Oh yeah. I mean, like if the first drum I ever made, I used like Gorilla Glue. So we don't need to use tree sap
All
and
right.
hot stones or anything like that. It's all easy, but we're still making it ourselves, no matter what the
Right.
process is now. So it's, we make these drums, and it's a part of us is basically being put into these drums, and our energy and everything, like looking at that way.
What was your aunt carving at? What was she shucking at the table?
So that's rat root. It's something you kind of have to like dig it out of like shallow waters. It grows pretty deep. It's almost like ginger.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
medicine, and it's really good for like if you have a sore throat or something, because it kind of
Right.
numbs. It tastes awful, but it works.
Oh, so it's like Benelin.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but I mean, like beavers chew on it when because their teeth are always like growing, so they chew on it, and it like helps numb their mouth. So that's how we kind of thought, hey, we can use that.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, and she picked a lot. That was a
Yeah,
big bundle.
she had a heaping basket of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of work, because you're pulling like whatever, like little plants out of the water. It's a lot of work. So
Yeah. So you'd initially said you had presented this to the NFB
yeah,
as an idea, as a feature, but we've already covered that. So you get funded by the NFB. Now you're in the short feature program. I think it's
yeah,
the program number 5 or something.
yeah,
And it's the first one's going to be this Wednesday on the 5th,
yeah.
and then on Sunday on the 9th. So how does it feel? So now you got the NFB behind you, and now you're going to be. Is this your premiere, or did you have it in Calgary?
Yeah, Calgary was our world premiere, but this is our West Coast premiere, basically.
Oh, okay.
UC premiere. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting because the NFB they've been great to me for a long time. They've always been supportive of me. This is our first project together, but they really, they've always wanted to work with me, and we finally got this. And so having their support on this project has been amazing. And they cover all the stuff that I don't want to cover, all the expenses and things like that. So
Well, that's great. Yeah. And are you gonna? There's gonna be like a Q&A during this
yeah,
short.
yeah. There's a Q&A. The way that I'm reading it, it's not going to be like a traditional Q&A where we go to the front. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of filmmakers there. So we're just kind of like stand up where we're sitting, and they're going to pass the mic to us. So we'll kind of
Oh,
that way. Yeah. As far as that's the last email I got, but yeah, there's going to be a Q&A, and it sounds like there's going to be a few filmmakers there other than myself. And, it's the Q&A sessions are always my favorite part of the festival, just getting that fan, like, I don't want to say fan, the audience interaction, and, hearing their thoughts and then getting the questions from them is always something I enjoy. So,
well, don't be modest. You might get new fans from this.
I mean, I'm hoping there's some fans out there that love my work and then want to see more of my work, and then get some people to want to give me money to make more work.
You never know. Maybe the NFB will, maybe if, down the road, maybe this is something that can become a feature.
Yeah, I don't know if I would make this one a feature, but there's definitely other ones in my mind that I really want to push out there. They also have the animation and digital
Yes.
department, who I'm going to
Yeah.
go tomorrow, and they're doing lots of great stuff. There's some great VR out there. So I really want to kind of explore that side of the industry as well.
Yeah, I think it's just, yeah, I found it really interesting.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Yeah,
Have
there's
you got anything on the back burner right now that
Yeah,
contemplating doing?
yeah, this is common knowledge. I talked about it a lot. But I have a TV series in development with CBC right now.
Oh,
Yeah, so that's been kind of taking up a lot of my time for the past few years, and it's we're going back and forth on if it's going to be animated or live action. It's geared towards like the, the 10 to 15 age range, but we're trying to, I want to make it that anyone can watch it and enjoy it, but it's
right.
very, Stranger Things in a sense, and it explores indigenous folklore. So it's going to be really interesting to really see that all come together.
Well, hey, yeah, everybody thought Stranger Things was just gonna appeal to that age group, and it's,
Yeah, everyone
yeah,
watches it. my
everyone
ne-
watches it.
my nephew in the documentary was watching it when he was 6 or 7 years old. So
Well, and they got reservation dogs too, right? Like,
yeah, oh,
and and that's really successful as well.
oh,
So
that's really really successful.
yeah, like the stars of that show have just like that show's really catapulted them into some big
Yeah.
stardom.
Well, Devry, who plays one of the lead characters, is a friend of mine, and so I've seen her progression in the industry since she started out, and now she's on, a Marvel show, and she was on Res Dogs, and she's all over the place. So it's just amazing to see this progression from all these actors.
Yeah, it's always a nice thing, isn't it, when you follow somebody that you know and
Yeah,
see them. Yeah, because then maybe one day I'll be like, hey, I talked to that guy.
yeah.
Nobody
No,
knew, nobody knew who he was.
I mean, I hope that day comes, and then I can say, hey, I talked to this guy, and he, really great podcast or whatever. What is this, a podcast or is it like a video?
I put it on YouTube and I put it
Okay,
on
yeah,
my website as well.
there you go. Yeah, so I mean, who knows? Both of us in a couple years could have a big following.
One can only hope, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wish you the best with this series that you're doing with the CBC. I think that's great. You're going from the NFB to the CBC.
Yeah, well, the
Oh, it just
CBC actually I think came first, but I can't remember.
oh,
Yeah,
your mind's a mesh now. You're too much
yeah.
traveling.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the last 2 years have just been made everything a mess. So yeah, I'm pretty sure CBC came first and then the NFB, if I'm correct in my understanding of everything.
It's been a while,
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
was all around the same time. It was 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So is this going to be at any other festivals after this, or do you
Yeah,
know that yet?
so we're going to Imagine Native, and so yeah, so Imagine Native is on the 20th of this month, and that's in Toronto. That's a big festival. There's another one, I don't think I can announce it yet. There's another one that's coming up soon. I can't remember if we got the
Okay to talk about it?
okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's been a busy couple weeks for me, so I need an assistant to handle all my emails.
Or just some post-it notes, just
Yeah,
don't talk about this one.
I know I should do that, but I'm traveling so much that I can't host it in my office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, is there anything else you'd like to add? I didn't really get a lot of questions together for you.
No, I think this was
I just watched it again today. I watched it when I first got it, and I'm like, I should refresh my mind,
yeah.
because I've been watching a lot of stuff for the festival. So I
Yeah, no, I
wanted,
mean, I think you covered everything, and we got some good back and forth here, and it was really just a great I enjoy these interviews where it's really just it feels comfortable and you're not, you know, struggling to come up with an answer or a question or whatever. So it was really great. I think we covered a lot of stuff here.
I agree. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I wish you nothing but the best with this film
Yeah, I appreciate that.
and lots more festivals to come.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a few more.
Okay, well, thanks, Eric.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.